And hello to all who are watching this currently. It has been a long time since you've probably heard my voice. And you're hearing it on Napa Fans channel, which, what is going on here?
You didn't have time for the sign-ups, that's what happened. But we're here for Team TRN and the heats for the NR2003 Big One. And Andrew, what are we doing here today? Who's advancing and what's going on?
Well, we got 10 drivers here set to go for this first of two heats, where the top two finishers from each heat will advance to the main event. And then we will have an LCQ where, for all remaining drivers, the top three, right, will make it through. I am way out of the loop. Life has been very busy, as I've stated in the last stream that I did on my channel. So to those who did see it, y'all know what's up. But to those who don't, in a nutshell, life is busy. I hardly have any time for NR, like, at all. But life is good, so... but hey, we're just here to have a good time, have some fun, and cannot thank Napa Fan enough here for putting on the show for me for TRN. And thank you, man, seriously.
You're very welcome. And the LCQ, we'd like to mention, is going to be next week. That's when the LCQs are going to be for every league here in the NR2003 Big One. But we are here for the first of two heats here in Team TRN. And we got 10 drivers in this one. With, I believe, the 162 of Daniel Price starting on the pole position here for this first heat. So I'll let you take it away. Hopefully you can read the numbers on these machines so you can identify each driver here. But 10 drivers in each heat. And like Andrew mentioned, the top two from each heat advance onto the main event July 27th, when that is going to take place.
And I will also say to everyone watching this, please forgive me for my probably horrible commentating skills. Needless to say, it has been a while. But indeed, the 162 starting first here, although with this being Coca-Cola Super Speedway, qualifying position probably ain't going to matter very much, but starting alongside him, the 148 of Thomas Troxel. These are a lot of drivers that... are more synonymous with Napa Fans channel, which, hey, good to have y'all on board for today's event for Team TRN. 155, Jeremiah Dwayne, I'm going off of a sheet here, and then the 190 of Brad Stover, I think that was, right?
Yes.
I am so out of it. I'm so sorry.
You're doing pretty good, man. You're doing pretty good. Here's a guy you're familiar with, Nick Kennedy, in the 111. And the 193 of Keyshawn Richardson there. Alongside him, the 177 of Diego Yepes, the 153 of Austin Johnson, 115 machine of Julius Anderson, and Ian McDaniels in the 101. I would like to put a little bit of a disclaimer. These races do not count towards an official Napa Fan win. These are official TRN events, so technically these are Andrew's races. With that, I'll let you take it away for the green flag in heat number 1.
Pace car pulling down pit road. These 10 drivers looking to get into the main event. They are coming to the green flag for the first of two heats. Who's going to make it on through? We'll wait and find out as the green flag flies here at Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Out of turn number 4, Daniel Price hanging on to it from the first place starting position. And then at 155, Jeremiah Dwayne right behind him, and 3 wide, a little bit, but now selling it back down to 2 wide. These guys just kind of trying to find a rhythm to start, but then that intensity will pick up as this very short heat goes on. As the 148, Thomas Troxel looking to make something happen out front.
About the 1-1-1 of Nick Kennedy. And Kennedy is one of the few guys actually in this big one who is what I like to call a true TRN driver. Of course, a lot of the guys who signed up for Team TRN this year are more, like Andrew said, Napa fan drivers. I mean, you have Trey Barta, Matt Tuck, and Noah Cars. They're going to all be in the next heat. But at the line for that lap, it was the 177 of Diego Yepes taking the lead away in lap 2.
And I will say, I wasn't present for signups, but why am I not surprised? Diego Yepes going for the 177. The number 77 has always been his number in TRN in the history of pretty much all of its series, especially the NCCS, which that thing went for 4 strong seasons. And Yepes found some good success, was in championship contention a few times, so he can get it done, that's for sure. And right now he's leading them here ahead of, I believe that is the 101 of Ian McDaniel. Is there being
we don't really know much about Ian McDaniels here. First time on my channel unofficially, and I believe the first time you've ever seen him around on anything you've done too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I may have heard that name from another league. It may have been Dylan Young's. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but hey, he's getting it done so far, taking the lead here at Coca-Cola Super Speedway, which, I mean, it takes some skill, especially on these high banks.
It definitely does, but I would like to mention, at least on my channel, well, we are on my channel, of course, the 2016 Thanksgiving 500 was won by first-time driver at the time, Jordan Lopez, so it happens quite often. Sebastian Cucolon, who's currently in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series right now, contending for the Rookie of the Year. He won his first ever start on Napa Fan as well. So we have a lot of guys, actually, that tend to do very well in their first career starts here on this channel. And Ian McDaniels might be able to get it done. Remember, the top 2 finishers in this heat race advance on to the main event, which will be on the NRA channel July 27th.
190, that's another synonymous driver with Napa Fan. Brad Stover, the 190. Right now, he and, is that the 155, or I can't quite make out that number.
That is the 155 behind him.
Oh, okay. Who's leading? I can't make out the number.
153. Austin Johnson is out front right now. Okay. Number 153 made a couple starts on Napa Fan in the Craftsman Throwback Series, which is still slated to return at some point throughout the summer, probably in August. But Johnson leading. Here comes Jeremiah Duane, I believe Jeremiah Duane, development driver to Jeremiah Earls, who is currently driving in the Haas IndyCar Series.
The Throwback Series, I'd say call that the replacement for the NCCS. Memories. But anyways, as the laps are starting to wind down here a little bit, which, by the way, this is perfect. This is sponsored by Powerade. Had to throw that out there. I'm so sorry for how much of a mess I am.
You seem pretty good, actually. You seem pretty good. Here's Keyshawn Richardson. He seems pretty good too. He's going for the race lead right now. Do you think the guys in the back right now, the last guy in the field, the 148 of Thomas Troxel, do you think he's going to have a shot at getting up to the top 2 before the race is done?
As long as he's able to keep up with the draft, but I absolutely think that everyone in this pack still has a shot, even though we only have a couple laps to go. I don't know, if you're one of the first cars on that outside line, might be a bit dangerous, but I mean, it's game on with them going 3 wide now. Intensity is ramping up, as these guys know it's top 2 or bust. That's all there is to it.
Top 2, or you have to go to the LCQ next week. Have to wait an entire week before you get back here for the last chance qualifier. So I know these guys definitely want to be in the main event here right now, but how about this? Almost 4 wide for the race lead. There goes Ian McDaniels back to the inside, coming to 2 laps to go. And the 190, Brad Stover back up here as well.
You saw Julius Anderson, that 115, sniffing it there, but then you see he was in that 4 wide situation. Now he's back in 5th. He's got to find a way back up there, but he's going to the inside. I think he's going to have a shot. There's Yepes again. of course, I'm calling out some of the more synonymous TRN guys because, call me biased, but, well, it's my leagues.
Yeah, it is his league. I mean, I'm always calling out Jesse Turner, Trey Bartow, and Matt Dalio in every race, so you have every right to do that yourself. But Austin Johnson leading the field right now. We got 3 wide behind them. I don't think Daniel Price is going to get to the inside of Julius Anderson, but Anderson is going to take second as they come to the white flag.
I think that Anderson's looking pretty good, and then also, yeah, that 162 Daniel Price. They might be in a good position here, but we're going to have to see as they're taking the white flag. God, who's that right there? Is that the 148? Yeah, I believe that is the 148. Thomas Troxel looking to make something happen.
White flag here at Coca-Cola for heat number 1 of Team TRN in the 2019 NR2003 Big One. And we saw Troxel at the back of the field just a couple laps ago, and here he is looking to find a way around Julius Anderson, but he might not even clear Daniel Price. And here comes Julius Anderson to the inside, taking the race lead away, and that might open the door for Troxel.
That's going to be trouble for Price.
It's between Austin Johnson and Thomas Troxel. At the line, Troxel gets the final transfer position in the 148. He, along with Julius Anderson, advance on to the main event of the 2019 NR2003 Big One.
Now, I don't think that could have gone any better because we got a synonymous TRN driver and what I would say is now a synonymous Napa fan driver going through in this first heat.
So Thomas Troxel in the 148 and Julius Anderson in the 115 are the first drivers to make it into the main event of the 2019 Big One, and you can see the average speed here at Coca-Cola. It's going to be like that throughout the entire event this year here from the Coca-Cola Super Speedway, but a rather calm heat there. I would expect more of the same in the second heat, don't you think?
Probably. I mean, driving conditions should be pretty much the same. But I mean, at the same time, you know that these guys are wanting to get in because trying to get in through the LCQ is way more stressful. But hey, congrats to Thomas Troxel and Julius Anderson. Big shout out to Anderson. Been a part of TRN for the longest time, and with TRN practically closing his doors after this event. Thank you very much, Julius, and hey, best of luck to you in the main event.
And we will see the main event July 27th on the NIRA channel, Nathan Stapleton's channel. Of course, he is doing the event for us this year, so we thank him very much for putting it on 120 entries, which is why we're doing all the heats now and the LCQs next week, because we got a lot to go through with each league. But either way, I'm sure we're ready to go on to heat number 2 and see who else joins Julius Anderson and Thomas Troxel as advancements into the main event for the 2019 NR2003 Big One.
And we are ready to go for the second heat for Team TRN. It has gotten cloudy here at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway, so that'll probably mean some higher speeds. And these guys are going to need to hang on for dear life in this one. For this one, we got Matt Tuck starting first, and then Trey Bartow starting on the outside of the front row. So this should be pretty interesting. But Tuck and then, of course, Bartow, both pretty accomplished drivers on Napa Fans' channel. So we'll see what they'll be able to do for Team TRN here today. And,
of course, Trey Bartow. I think of any of the drivers starting for Team TRN, he has more wins than anyone else. So Bartow's definitely got to watch out for. As a matter of fact, I think he finished on the podium for the Big One in 2016. So he's a guy you definitely want to have on your team. I'm hoping he can advance on. But we got 9 other guys who want to advance on as well. Of course, top 2 advance to the main event, and everyone else has to go to the LCQ next week, which will also be here on Napa Fan as well. But like Andrew said, it is Matt Tuck and Trey Bartow on the front row.
I'm so sorry for that. Okay then. But I'm going to mute myself for just a second.
So while he takes care of his cellular devices, actually probably a landline phone that he has, we're going to go ahead and give you the rest of the starting lineup. Landon Lyons in the 105 on the inside of the 124 of Fisher G. Then we have the 123 of Donovan David. He's alongside the 170 of Noah Cars. We have the 117 machine, Matt Carr, driven by Rasheem Stewart. And alongside him, I believe that is the 191 of John Andrews. And then we get to the final row in the field. I believe that is the 119, I should say, of Joshua Rush, alongside the 127 of Julian Quintero. Great to see Julian Quintero back here. Kind of a infrequent driver here and there, but great to see his name pop back up here on NAPAFan. So we'll have to see what he does here. In the second heat for Team TRN, Julius Anderson and Thomas Troxel have already advanced on to the main event. We'll see which other two drivers will join them at the end of this one.
As I have returned from taking that, yes, it was a landline, actually. But pace car pulling in. It has gotten cloudy. Speeds are going to be up. Tensions are also going to be up to try and get into the main event of the NR2003 Big One. Green flag flies once again for the second of two heats here at Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Field coming off of turn number 4. And that green car, I don't know who that is, the
Landon
105.
Lyons. Landon Lyons able to lead lap number 1 to the inside. Right back on him is Matt Tuck. A really good crossover move there by Tuck to take the lead back on lap 2.
Yeah, we're seeing them. It looks like they're being a little bit more racy this time around, probably with the higher speeds. They're definitely feeling like, okay, we got to make something happen. This race is going to go by a little quicker. We're seeing 3 wide already. That's more than we can say after the first heat.
Here comes
It looks
Julian
like the
Quintero.
127, I believe. That is Quintero. Yeah, he started last in this race, and already here he comes to the front, completing the second lap. So that shows you just how unimportant the starting positions were. Got Donovan David coming up here, the 123, which I like that. I like that number choice. John Andrews down there.
Pretty good one. You can't forget it. But Donovan David, believe this. If this were an official NAPAFan race, it would be his first ever NAPAFan start. But he's going for the race lead. He's got John Andrews behind him, and we know here on NAPAFan that John Andrews is a pretty good driver. Double-digit victories on NAPAFan, so he's definitely one of the best drivers ever to hit the racetrack on this channel. But this is a TRN event, so doesn't really matter too much. This is Super Speedway, but would not be surprised if he were able to advance on in the 191.
Well, hey, I mean, I think it's great to see some of these names supporting TRN, such as Bartow and Noah Cars, and indeed John Andrews, Brad Stover, and all of them. Like, I remember in last year's Big One, when Garrett Sonoris signed up for Team TRN, I pretty much fanboyed out like, holy smokes, he just signed up for my team.
Unfortunately, Garrett Sonora, I do not believe, is in this year's NR2003 Big One, but we still have a lot of other great names, like you mentioned Trey Bartow, and Noah Cars, and Brad Stover, John Andrews, who have been part of NAPAFan for quite a while, and especially Bartow and Andrews have gotten a lot of wins and have been around since the inception of the channel, basically, so got some pretty neat guys in your league, and I hope some of them can advance on here in this heat. Got Matt Tuck taking the lead away with help from Landon Lyons. Seems like these two guys are with each other here in this heat.
I wonder if they're maybe just working with each other, trying to get... Sorry, a little bit of a... There we go. you wonder if these two are working together, maybe help get those two through. It's like help me, help you type of scenario there. Although, wow, that was a power move.
There's Rasheem Stewart.
117.
And
Yeah.
this would officially be his first Napa fan start if it were a Napa fan race. But, of course, it's not an official Napa fan race, so doesn't technically count for him. But still, don't really know much about this guy, but he seems to be doing pretty well right now in this big pack of Coca-Cola.
Fisher G there now taking the second spot away. Fisher G, another driver that I've heard his name floating about quite a bit on your channel, Napa fan, and here he comes to second place, the final transfer spot for now, but got a long ways to go.
Yeah, but those laps really clocked down quickly. So see Fisher G going right for the lead. Bring Stewart with him in the 117, and John Andrews is here in the 191, looking to get to the inside of Stewart for second. The 170, don't believe we've really mentioned him yet in this race. Noah Carr's in the 170, trying to move his way in the inside lane, and you can't count out Trey Bartow in this thing. I think he's going to have a good shot at advancing on in that 144.
And honestly, even if Bartow doesn't make it through here today, I'm looking at him as a real threat when it comes to the LCQ. I think that he'll be able to do something good there. As yeah, I was seeing, was that Joshua Rush kind of barely hanging on to the draft right now.
Yeah, he might have gotten shuffled out of line, got stuck on the outside and fell back, but it does seem that he is regaining the draft at this point. Seemed to be rather single file considering the way we started this race at least, so kind of impressed with how these guys have been racing here tonight. In the second heat of TRN.
Absolutely, as 117, Rasheem Stewart hanging on to the lead at the moment. Here comes the 170, Noah Carr's into the final transfer position. Help from John Andrews. Yeah, these guys are staying together pretty well so far. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to remain the case, as, again, with it being only 10 laps and the speeds being higher, it's going to wind down real quickly.
Here comes Noah Carr's looking for the race lead on Rasheem Stewart. If they work together, they're going to both advance here. You see Landon Lyons looking to the inside of Trey Bartow, but Bartow is going to be able to clear, so that's good news for Bartow as they come to 2 laps to go. Bartow's now going to try to get on Noah Carr's for the final transfer spot, while Rasheem Stewart is pulling away from the rest of the field, or at least trying to here at Coca-Cola.
Now, I've got to think that Bartow and Stewart got to work together here to try and hang on to these 2 spots. But that 170 of Noah Carr's, I would not count him out yet, as right when I say that, of course, Bartow going for the lead.
So Trey
Trying to get his
Bartow,
first, I guess you could say here and win, but there goes Stewart. See you later.
yeah, that outside lane just simply does not work through the corners here, but you can get a pretty good run off the corner here. Get back on the inside. Lions for second as the white flag flies for Trey Bartow. Top to advance to the main event. Everybody else to the LCQ next week. Oh, and Bartow's got to be careful here with Noah Carr's getting to the inside of him.
Oh.
And don't look now. Here comes Quintero in the 127. If Bartow falls back enough here, Quintero might be in the position to take the last transfer spot away. Lyons will clear there. Bartow trying to work the outside. I just don't think it's going to work out for him because he's going to fall back there. And Lyons takes the last transfer spot.
He had no drafting help, and that is what did Bartow in. It is going to be Landon Lyons and the 170 of Noah Carr's advancing through to the main event and will represent Team TRN.
So Trey Bartow almost had it, but lost it as Noah Carr's got to the inside of him, and if he let Carr's go off of turn number 2, I think he would have been able to get back to the inside to avoid Lyons from getting to the inside of him. But unfortunately, that was not the case for Trey Bartow, and it is Noah Carr's and Landon Lyons joining Julius Anderson and the number 148 of Thomas Troxel as the 4 drivers who advance on to the NR2003 Big One, July 27th, the main event. Those 4 drivers will be in it. Next week, it is the LCQ, so the other 16 drivers who have yet to qualify their way in will race a 15-lap race here at Coca-Cola, and the top 3 will advance on to the main event.
And that was really fun. And hey, it's always good to still be a part of some of these. And thanking Napa Fan for again doing these for me. And again, after this, TRN looks like it's probably gonna enter retirement. I'm probably gonna enter my own retirement, at least for the foreseeable future, because, well, hey, life is just, I've got other priorities as it stands right now. But if I may, in the off chance that this is the last time that anyone
We're going to
hears
do
me
the
commentate,
LCQ. We're going to do the LCQ just after this, so we still got one more week of you, man.
Oh.
So keep that in mind.
That's fair enough, because
We're
I
not
do
done
have
yet.
a lot of shout outs that I want to give.
We'll wait for the LCQ next week for that, but don't worry, we're gonna give those shout outs when it comes next week. But this ain't it, so
Yeah,
save it for when it counts.
I completely forgot about that.
Noah Cars and Landon Lyons advancing on. Julius Anderson and Thomas Troxel advancing on. They are in the 2019 NR2003 Big One. And we will see the other 3 drivers from Team TRN who will advance on next week in the LCQ. Check out the other heats this week. We got Dylan Young's heats. We have Carter's heats, the NROL, NRSL, NNSCRA, they have their heats, and IRA, and the NOFSRL. The NOFSRL might be on my channel. It might be on Marty's channel. I know Marty's been having some issues with his computer lately, so it could actually be on my channel. But either way, all the other leagues that start with the letter N, go check them out, because have some good racing here from the Coca-Cola Super Speedway throughout the entire weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let you end it, Andrew, since this is, of course, your league.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, thank you to everyone who signed up to take part for Team TRN here in the Big One. Of course, shout out to Nathan Stapleton for putting on this great event. And again, to Napa Fan for doing these races and the signups for me. Appreciate it very much, my man. So, on that note, we will see you all again for the LCQs. And we'll see who will represent Team TRN in the final few spots. But until then, y'all have a good one, and I'm half tempted to impersonate Napa Fan on his outro, but I'm not going to do that.
Go right ahead, man.
Hey, here, I'll do the double. So on that note, I will see you guys later. Take care and bye for now.